What's up, world? It's your boy, your guy, Coach EV, aka EV the Geeker, and welcome to another episode of Talking Hoops in the SIP, the Boys Edition. Talking Hoops in the SIP, the Boys Edition, along with my guys, Talante Weber, aka T Web of Southern Sports Platform. What up, T Web?
What's up with you, EV?
And Lavelle Shoes Johnson. What's up, Shoes? Mississippi
Happening,
Hoop
guys?
Report.
What's going on, guys?
Before we get going, want to let you guys know, please do me a favor and share, subscribe. We got to talk about that. I am getting close to 1,000 subscribers. And so I need you to subscribe like crazy today and tell people to subscribe, share, like, the show as much as possible. Also, tonight's show, again, brought to you by Eris. The Eris Hydroxyl Blaster. The Eris Hydroxyl Blaster is the first air purifier scientifically proven to reduce COVID-19 on surfaces. For more information, call my guy Jason at 601-454-8678. That's 601-454-8678. Well, listen, man. Hey, it's a lot going on. Last night, before we get into the high school piece, let's go over and talk about, the NCAA. And Talante, you said that you watched the game last night between Kentucky and Mississippi State. They lost in double overtime. Talk to me about that. A little bit about that game, and then we can talk about some of the players on either team in Mississippi State.
Well, the game was good all the way through. Mississippi State was up, then Kentucky they crawled back in. If everybody know, Kentucky was 1-6. They started off terrible to kick off the NCAA season, which has become a kind of norm for them, being bad. They have all the 5-star guys, but for some reason lately they haven't been able to gel together. Mississippi State's been looking really, really good, especially having so many Mississippi kids on there. DJ Stewart has definitely taken the team over. It's his team now, and a couple of the other young guys. Matthews from Olive Branch, he's been getting quite a good amount of minutes himself. I think he's going to be really good for them moving forward. The guard from Georgia, he's pretty solid. They hit a lot of threes. But Kentucky, I can't remember the kid's name that came off the bench. He hasn't even been getting a lot of time this year.
It was your guy, EV.
My guy, I can tell you who it is.
That was EV guy.
Dante Allen. Love him. Love him.
Hey, he came and lit him up. I think he had he probably had like 6 threes. He was killing. He
7 for 11.
Hey, he was killing.
Yeah, I meant to talk to you about him, EV, because I know you when you saw him, you came back, you talked, you were raving about him a couple of years ago, and he just hadn't been able to seem to get off the bench and find his groove at Kentucky yet. I was glad to see him. I started to call you about him last night after the game and say, EV, your guy got off.
You know what, Shoes? I didn't know. You know what? Because I don't know how to go back on my Twitter and find stuff I said back in the day. And I didn't even know I had talked to you about it. Because I did come back and we talked about it.
We talked about him on the phone. We didn't do it on Twitter. We actually had a conversation about him after you went up there and came back from seeing him.
That's right, man. I thought the kid, when I saw him, I thought the kid was a pro. I really did.
Told me that, and he hadn't been able to get out the bench. He hadn't gotten into the rotation, but he broke through last night. Hey, I wonder was the fact that Calipari got thrown out the game part of the reason he got a chance. Maybe the assistant likes him better.
Who coached the game?
Huh?
Who coached the game?
I'm not sure which assistant took over. Do you know which assistant took over?
I think he was the associate head coach. I can't think of his name, but he the one that sit right behind Calipari that be doing all the little adjustments on the bench. You know what I'm saying? You can see him. He always telling Calipari what to do. So
he's not there anymore. Didn't Kenny Payne leave? So it wasn't Kenny.
Yeah, it's not Kenny. It's the new.
That's why I'm not sure who it is.
I wondered if Tony Barbie.
It might be Tony. Might be Tony. I'd have to look it up and see. But I'm wondering if maybe.
Well, you know what? Tony's not even an assistant anymore. As a matter of fact, I think he's a special assistant to John Calipari.
It's James Flint. That's who was coaching the game.
James Flint?
Bruiser.
Bruiser. Yeah, Bruiser Flint. Okay, Bruiser Flint.
Yeah,
okay. Well, that might have been a part of the factor last night. Evidently, he hadn't ingratiated himself to Calipari much yet, but maybe this was his opportunity. Maybe Flint saw opportunity to get him some minutes and utilize him. A couple of other guys didn't play last night. Clark and Fletcher didn't play. I know Fletcher's had some issues before now, but Clark didn't play last night either. So maybe they had to dig down the bench a little bit.
Oh yeah,
but Mississippi State. Talante, let me ask you a question. Did Keandre play Montgomery?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't touch the floor. And then it's gonna be tough. You know what I'm saying, especially going into. He didn't play a lot. You know what I'm saying, before conference even started. So now that conference started, I think it's definitely gonna be hard for just. If you weren't in the rotation at first, you definitely probably not going to crack the rotation. Now,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to be impossible. Well, not impossible, but the chances are slim.
Very much so.
Yeah, and I think it's important. I think it's important that even the young men that want today, because everybody always talk about high major. And there's no doubt that Keandre Montgomery is a high major player. There's no question about that. But just because you're a high major player, just ask DJ Stewart, who's the guy now. He wasn't in the rotation as a freshman either. Matter of fact, I think they redshirted.
He redshirted.
Yeah. So some of you guys who are, even and I was guilty of this as an AU coach back in the day. I used to want all my kids to go high major. It's not about high major. It's about the right fit, and I've learned that I need to go where can I go? Can a lot of kids that want to go high major? There's some of you can go high major, but I look at it like this: are you going to go high major and be prepared to sit for a year, and then, like DJ Stewart, his redshirt sophomore year, he gets a little bit of minutes, and now his redshirt freshman year, he gets a few minutes. Now his sophomore year is his team. And now he's in a position where not only is it his team, he may trick somebody and go out and go pro. So you know what I mean? So it was a great fit for him. He may sneak out and go pro. Think about it. Nobody thought Woodard would leave like that.
Right. But for me, I think for Stewart, I think he probably need to stay another year. I think next year, if he keep producing like this, I definitely think he'll be probably like a mid to late first round pick, at least early second round pick if he did stay another year. This year, I mean, he could possibly go because we don't know how the season gonna play out. We don't know if they're gonna have a NCAA tournament or not. But the way he's been playing, I'm sure some people have been looking at him because a lot of the people who were projected to be top guys, some of those guys aren't performing good at all this year. So you just never know how the chips gonna fall into play come the summertime.
To me, when you're talking about going to the next level, and it just makes me think that we need to get some criteria. To me, I think parents and kids need to start asking themselves some questions, I know that there are people who, want to be nationally ranked, and I think there's nothing wrong with being nationally ranked. I think that's a good goal. It's a goal to be a McDonald's All-American. If you are a sophomore or a junior and you're not in that top 30 conversation, it's going to be tough for you to become a McDonald's All-American. Is it impossible? No, because it's just improbable. Now, if you go and have a phenomenal summer, especially in this EYBL, let's just face it, you got to be the EYBL. Most of the kids on the McDonald's rosters playing the EYBL. That's just, nothing against Adidas and Under Armour. Some years you do have, you've had some, when Junior Smith, Bam Adebayo, and some of those guys like that. But you got to play on a major circuit. You got to sing by those top guys. And if that's not happening for you, now you got to prepare to, okay, now I need to go where the best fit is. Where am I going to go and get minutes? I'm going to play significant minutes for at least 3 years. I think your first year, most kids are not going to get a lot of minutes. So you prepare for that. If you go high major, if you go mid-major and you're a high major player, per se, you got some high majors, then you might go into a mid-major and get, significant minutes early on as a freshman. So I think you got to begin to determine what are you looking for? What do you, like, how do you want to define your career? And anybody else want to jump in on that?
And for me, just piggybacking off of what you said, it's like you said, it's just like when you're a freshman in high school. You kind of got to be really, really good to actually play a lot of varsity minutes as a freshman on a high school team. And it's the same once you get to college. You know what I'm saying? You playing with grown men who like 20, probably like 23. Some of them might be even 25. The EV pop off. I'm the host now. You still there, Shoes?
Yeah, I'm still here. We lost EV.
I don't know, but
take it away, Slante. You the man.
But just keep going off of that. You have to be really, really good to actually, you know what I'm saying, just get on the floor as a freshman in college. Some people are able to do it. It's just a big learning curve once you get there. Some people can't learn the plays when they get there. They can't learn the system. Then the coach don't really have no trust in you, so you're not gonna get on the floor. Some people struggle in the weight room, time management. Some of them probably can't do the schoolwork. You know what I'm saying? Those are just some of the factors once you actually get to the college level that you have to adjust to be able to touch the floor.
Yeah, I'm gonna elaborate a little bit about what you were just saying. I mean, it's so many factors that go into being ready to play when you get to that next level, getting on the floor when you get to that next level. And I really think a lot of parents and kids do a terrible job of really preparing themselves and the child for what they're going to face at the next level. They're not realists, especially a lot of small town kids that come from a situation where they've been praised in high school, they've been put on a pedestal, the parents been enjoying all this popularity. They don't realize that when you go to college, it's a whole nother level, your step you're taking. And most of them aren't prepared to pay their dues. I think it's anything wrong paying your dues coming up through the system, not playing or playing minimal minutes of freshmen, playing, because like you say, the kids who are going one and done or going directly to the pros are the McDonald's All-American type kids. If you weren't that, he said, you might as well be prepared to be in college at least 3, if not 4 years. And so there's a process you're going to go through. So be prepared to deal with the process. Be prepared to, go in and learn all you can that first year, even if you're not getting good minutes. Work hard. Show them that you're a hard worker. You're going to play. That you're willing to do whatever they need you to do. Be gracious of the few minutes you get, and then come back your sophomore year, and then hopefully you'll be more of an integral part of the team. And then by your junior year, you should be, hey, you're one of the main clubs. And it's easier to, if you accept that it could be a process, it's easier to deal with. But so many of them aren't prepared to deal with the process.
I can agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we put a lot of false hope in the kids. It's just different. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, you can score 30, 40 points against high school kids, but you got to think how many high school kids from your state actually make it to the next level to play. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So realistically, you might play against maybe 3, 4 college prospects a year in any given state, unless you live in like a Georgia or North Carolina or something. Then you're probably playing D1s every other night. But living in a state like Mississippi, you might play 3, 4 prospects a season. You know what I'm saying? That's just give or take.
And the ones who high level college prospects probably aren't prepared to D you up like those guys at the next level are.
Right,
because they can score it, but they can't D it.
Right. Because you know what I'm saying? Some people just go to college just to play defense. You know what I'm saying? That's a calling card. They just got recruited just to play D. So it's a lot of stuff that go into it. Once you get to college, you have more film work where they actually game plan. They take away your best attributes. So you have to be able to adjust on the fly most of the time. And if you're not used to that, you know what I'm saying, it can be a struggle. If you used to going right all the time, getting to your mid-range spot, they force you to go to the basket and you don't really go to the basket, you're probably not going to score too many points that game.
Yeah.
And then once they see you struggle, you know what I'm saying, you got the confidence factor. You might not have any confidence going to the next game, going into practice. So now I go back to the coach. Now they don't believe in you because you don't even believe in your own skills. So now you probably definitely won't see the floor. But it's just so much that go into it. And like EV was talking about, like the McDonald's All-American being a top 30. It's going to be interesting to see if they pick up Ruffin to be a McDonald's All-American this year. I don't know if they're going to have the game, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see if he does get picked. I hope he get picked to represent the state, and that'll be a big accomplishment, a great accomplishment for himself. And that'll be what, 2 McDonald's All-Americans for Callaway. Malik Newman was the last one, first one.
He and Malik would be the 2. I don't think Callaway's had a McDonald's All-American before that. Yeah.
Okay, so you know what I'm saying? That'd be a great achievement for even Coach Sanders having 2 McDonald's All-Americans going back to back. So with him being 36, I think his level of entertainment, you know what I'm saying? I think he could possibly squeeze into that.
He's right on the cusp. He's right on the cusp. If he has a big year, not being able to travel this year, get out and play in those highlight events might put a damper on it a little bit. But he's already on the national mindset of the national scout. So the people that vote on it. So he's really got an opportunity to make it, I think.
Oh yeah, most definitely for me too. And shoot, since EV not back, I don't know. We're gonna have to call EV and see what's going on his way. But I guess we can hop on to it. Like I see shoes. I see you had went down to the coast this weekend. What did you see down there at the coast? Because I actually had pulled up to Jackson. Rarely.
I watched a little of the action in Jackson Saturday and Monday. Then I went on. Hey, the EV calling me now. Let me see what EV got going on. What's going on, EV?
Man, I don't know what happened. My computer just shut off. I'm switching computers. So
well, we still talking, man. We still talking. We good. We going. We still live and still going. So we just keeping it going, and you get back in.
Y'all still live?
Yeah, we still live.
Tell them I'm hosting it now.
All right. Okay. All right. Just come on back in when you can.
All right.
But just going off of that, you know what I'm saying? I see you was down there at the coast. It looked like it was some good action. I see people was tagged.
I'm gonna be honest. The Iberville was really impressive. Gulfport was coming off of a COVID shutdown, really hadn't practiced, but they went ahead and played in the tournament. Had the tournament. They won the first night against Moore. The second night they weren't the sharpest, but I was really impressed with the Iberville that night. I was down there. They play what I call, good basketball, discipline, run it, move the ball with discipline offensively, kept it moving. They got a kid, they got a forward, a junior forward. That's really one we need to keep our eyes on. Let me make sure I give you the right name for that kid. I gotta make it. Dominique Simpkins. He's a 6'4" wing. Hey man, he's a junior. He's one we really got to keep our eye on for him down there at the Iberville.
How tall is he?
Really good. 6'4".
6'4", okay.
Junior, and he's more of a wing forward type. He shoots the 3. He's very active. He rebounds. Athletic. He had a big 2 nights down there against Gulfport and Harrison Central. Harrison Central already beat them early in the year, and they beat them pretty good. But they found a way. They found a way to carve out a win against Harrison Central that next night. That was Harrison Central's first loss in like 13 games. And Harrison Central, I was there the night before when they played Meridian, and they looked really good against Meridian. Even though Meridian made a run, got back in the game, they went up big on Meridian, but Meridian kept playing, kept scrambling. Norman teams are always going to play well. They're going to run, play good basketball, and they kept fighting. They scrambled. They got back in the game, but of course, but Harrison Central did what they closed it on out, and they look really strong. I mean, I was thinking hey, they win this tournament, they're probably back in the top 5 team, now with a 13-game winning streak. But like I said, the Abbeville was really impressive that night, and the fact that they were able to find a way to pull out a win against Harrison Central the next night was really big for them. They're like 12-3 or something like that also. So they've been having a good season. They started off like 8 or 9-0 at one point.
So talk about Harrison Central. You had them preseason number one. How did they look? Because they have they have South Carolina commit. They have Sam Murray. You know what I'm saying? So how did they look? Because they have a lot of size. They got some good prospects.
They got some size. They have gotten their football players back. The kid Jacoby what's Jacoby down there? He signed to play wide receiver Mississippi State. He's a senior. A senior from the football team. He signed to play wide receiver Mississippi State. He's back, and they got another football player that's come back in. He's back. He's been a big factor for them since he's come back. He was a starter last year, so early on they were breaking in a new backcourt, missing another starter that they had out. And they started off rough, but like I say, they had like a 12 or 13-game win streak. They were playing really well. They looked really good that day. Sam Murray had a really good tournament. Sam Murray had a really, really good tournament. He's attacking it. He's finishing at the rim. He's hitting shots. He's so long and active that he's a solid ball handler. So he just been getting a lot of finishes at the rim, a lot of dunks. Like I said, been really active. And the thing about Harrison Central, because of the makeup of the team, like the night they played Meridian, I think they had like 4 guys in double figures. Jacoby had 12, Sam might have had 16, Carlos might have had 14. I call him Fat Boy. I can't remember the name. Fat Boy probably had about 14. That's what they do every night, really, right now. None of them are having nobody's dominating for them. They're doing it by just with team play. It's spread out. Everybody's contributing, and they just, like I say, they're so big and strong and long. Fat Boy shoots the ball really well for him. Carlos can hit a shot. Sam can hit a shot. Then they so big around the rim. They throw it. Carlos caught a couple of alley oops that night. Sam got a couple of dunks. So they're playing good ball right now. Like I say, it was a really accomplishment for D'Iberville to get that win the next night because they were actually up 4 with like 50 seconds left. Harrison Central was, and let it fritter away down the stretch. A couple of free throw misses or something.
Yeah, they 5A or 6A.
Who?
D'Iberville.
D'Iberville is 6A. They're in the region with Biloxi, Ocean Springs, and St. Martin.
Okay.
Harrison Central is Harrison Central, Gulfport, Hancock, and I think West Harrison.
So what you're saying, we need to be looking at D'Iberville for a playoff contender.
Yeah, we got a new playoff contender rising up down there. They're looking like they might be might be able to make some noise. I'm sure they probably got a coming up with Biloxi sometime soon. Everybody's out to get in region P. So I'm gonna be real interested to see how that goes when they play Biloxi. That should be a good game. That should be a really good game. And I gotta give a shout out to head coach D'Iberville, Robin Sykes. He's a former got people around here know a former Jackson Panther from back in the days when the Jackson Panthers were rolling. Lamar Roy played for Lamar Roy on the Panthers. He came down. I know him well because I was dealing with the Panthers then. So I got to give him a shout out. He started out as a head coach at Moss Point a couple years ago, moved over about a year ago. And I got to give him credit. He's doing a great job over there. Robin.
Cool. And for me, I actually went down to Jackson. I thought we were going to have more games, but I just got there right on time for the game that I really wanted to see, Callaway versus Forest Hill.
Callaway.
Yeah, and I know everybody's been subscribing to this channel, so I think that game probably got like 3,000 views, I'm thinking. But I had liked what I seen. I'm not sure how long those guys have been practicing in Jackson. I know Coach Sanders said they haven't had a lot of time to, like get in shape or just practice even running sets. But it was a great game. I know I've been talking about teams being quarantined and not being able to practice and have a rhythm, but I thought both teams played very well and looked not really polished, but it was some good basketball that day. Like I had told EV, I don't know what y'all be doing up that shoe. If y'all call a lot of fouls down there in JPS, man, they was calling crazy fouls. I think Ruffin probably had like 2 or 3 fouls in the first quarter. I know in the first half for sure because he sat out for most of the second quarter. I think he
He
went
did
out.
get 3 in the first half.
Yeah, he sat out for a long time. But I really like the Forest Hill team. I like Mitchell. He got a lot of size. I think he can really shoot it. He didn't shoot it really well that game at all. I think he might have had like 10, 12 points or something like that. He missed a lot of open shots, but they were good looks. They rimmed in and out. I was really impressed with him. But I think the next night he had 30 versus Terry. So, you know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna
Yeah.
be a big time
He
sleeper.
only hit 1 3 that night. Everything that night was at the rim just about. I mean, he took it to the rim that night. He was attacking the rim against Terry. He hit 1 3 against Terry, but so many of his baskets were just, where he'd catch the ball and attack the rim, catch it off the swing, get in the gap, attack the rim. He did a great job of getting in there and finishing. He hit the offensive glass. He did a great job the next night. That was like that Terry game was like their 4th game in 5 days
Oh, really?
as far as Hill.
Right. And for me,
Oh, that mud.
yeah, and for me, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even realize Forest Hill, you know what I'm saying, had those pieces because I seen them last year at the Tangle on the Trail in Pontotoc. I forgot who they played against. But you know what I'm saying, Montgomery, he pretty much shot everything. You know what I'm saying? I know Montgomery, he's a high major
They let
state.
him dominate play last year.
Yeah, so you couldn't really see
Um,
what they had at all. But I like the Marshall brothers.
Now George Marshall was there. George Marshall was definitely their second most productive player last year. He had some big games during the season. Like he had Callaway for like a 24, 26 point game last year. Marshall had streaks where he had big games. The junior
That's
George, he
yeah,
had some streaks last year where he had some good games.
yeah,
So
and,
we
and I
definitely knew he could be good.
and I definitely liked
But
George. He played really good.
what
He
was that?
played George Marshall. I really like Marshall.
Yeah.
The older brother, he
He
plays well as
got
well.
really good.
He's a little bit smaller than the little brother, but he plays with a lot of intensity as well. He brings the energy. I think for the Forest Hill team, I think right now what it looked like they pretty much struggling to find that leader. You know what I'm saying? They really don't have a leader. They have a good team with some good pieces, but I think right now they're probably just missing that. You know what I'm saying? That solid leadership. You don't really know who's. You know what I'm saying? Who's the captain on the team? I think right now that's what they missing. I'm thinking it's probably going to either be right now. You really can't tell who's really the best player because I think Mitchell and
Marshall.
Marshall, both of those guys, I think either one of those can erupt for a big game probably any night. But as a group, I think it's gonna be tough. And I had to eat my words on this. EB them said I think it's gonna be tough in that 5A group for anybody to beat Forest Hill once they get rolling, once they get some games under their belt because they have so many matchup problems. So if you can't really match up with them, because they're gonna play good defense.
EJ,
Come on, EV. Cut it out. Go ahead, Delante.
EV trying to get that screen set, but I think once we get to like late February, heading into the playoffs, I think Forest Hill is going to be really, really good. Then we didn't talk about Callaway a lot, but of course, like I said before, I think Kevion and Ruffin, they are the best backcourt, and they showed that because they had went up early by a lot on Forest Hill. It was probably
They
like
were 20 something at one point. They were up by 20 plus, I think, at one point.
Yeah, but before the foul count got crazy, and it throw off the rhythm when kids, they get in foul trouble, then they start playing a little suspect.
Forest Hill is there. They are living. They're going to be much more of a pressing team this year, and I think that played a factor because Callaway's not deep, and I do think they probably were getting tired of later and wore down some, but Callaway is very impressive. They got some side. They are long boy on that front line.
Yeah, and for those to be young guys, I think they played really well the game I had watched versus Forest. They did a lot of they're thin, but at the same time they do a lot of good stuff. They can rebound. They blocked a lot of shots. You know what I'm saying? And like Coach Sanders said, they are young and they do have to learn on the fly, which is kind of hard for them being the defending state champions. So they getting thrown in the fire right now. So every game they're gonna get every team best shot. So
Good shot.
I mean,
They'll get
early
the
if they
best
do
shot.
take, yeah, if they do take some losses early, which I have to go back and look at the schedule to see who they really play. That can probably, you know what I'm saying, cause them some problems. Because are they playing Clinton? No,
They're scheduled to play them as later as right at the end of the regular season. So by then, you know, both teams should be in a pretty good groove, hopefully, so we can get a really good matchup there. But right now, you know, we have them scheduled to play Harrison Central at the Rumble next
okay,
week in about a week or so.
right, and I look forward to that. I was looking at the matchups. That's actually going to be a really great event. Looking at the matchups, if the teams come to play and the players come to play, you know what I'm saying, that's definitely going to be the event of the year. Just by looking at the matchups alone with player matchups and team matchups, you can't beat it. You got Starkville versus Clinton, Harrison Central versus Callaway, MRA versus Raymond. I love those matchups. I think those are going to be some fantastic games. If the teams deliver, you know, on paper it looked great. If the players and the teams come to play, you know what I'm saying, that's going to be probably the best event of the year for sure.
Yeah.
But going back to Callaway, I definitely think Callaway, from looking at it, I think it's going to be tough to stop Kevion and Ruffin every night for just average guards. I think Ruffin can probably score 35, 40 points every night if he wanted to, because it's too easy. He's too fast. You can't stay in front of him at all. I'm not going to say you can't. At the high school level, I don't think there's a lot of college guys who can probably slow him down from getting to the basket and getting to his spot.
And if
so
his
it's going to be interesting to see how
if his jumper continues to click like it's been clicking, you know, since late last season, if it continues to click, that just makes him that much more deadly. You know, over the first couple of years of high school ball, you know, you kind of were, you know, you could commit to trying to keep him away from the rim. His jumper was streaky, but right now, man, that jumper is. I mean, he got this step back falling. You know, he's so quick. He keeps people on their heels. So once he stops and pops, and it's falling, man. I mean, his jumper is really, really falling really good right now. So when that jumper's falling, and then with that speed and the shiftiness he has of the ball handling and the body control he has, man, he's a phenomenal scorer. I'm with you. I think he can get 35 a night if he wants this year. You know,
Yeah.
you know, and Kevion can get 17 to 20 a night if he wants. You know, if not 25.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be the bulk of the scoring. But I was impressed with the front line. They showed the ability, a few of those guys, the sophomore Trey and Richardson, the senior, the transfer senior, showed the ability to give them just the right supplement of scoring from the front line to you know to give them a boost to help keep everybody honest. Because I remember Trey hit a three against Forest Hill, and Richards hit a bunch of baskets around the goal. He's so long and kind of bouncy. So you can't just concentrate on those two guys. You can't just concentrate on Ruffin and Tevion, because those guys are capable of scoring all. And that makes them really, really deadly. I think in the 5A level right now, we might have seen the two best 5A teams, at least at this point, in Callaway. I'm not going to discount out Center Hill. They've been taking some up and down lumps on the road, but they played such a tough schedule. I know they're going to be around.
But for me, you know what I'm saying, like you said, Kevion played great against Forest Hill. I think his jumper is a lot better right now. I think he made like 3 threes, so he's shooting a lot better with good range. He's actually been controlling the point guard spot, getting guys involved, getting them easy baskets, penetrating, kicking out the shooters. They're making shots, penetrating in addition to the big man under the basket for easy layups.
Yeah.
And going back to what you said, Center Hill is definitely going to be the team in 5A to beat from the north side. So everything probably going to go through Center Hill. You got to beat Center Hill to make it in 5A from the north. In Jackson, I'm guessing you're going to have to go. You're looking at Forest Hill, Callaway. Callaway's still the champion, so you got to go through Callaway. But I do expect those two to be, you know what I'm saying, around.
Forest Hill is in the south. Forest Hill actually plays in the south, so they'll probably be, you know, odds-on favorites to come out down south.
Where's Callaway gonna be at now?
Callaway in the south too, right? No,
they in the north.
They're in the north. Okay, so we're Center Hill at.
Center Hill in the north.
Okay, Because I'm trying to see how they matched up in the championship last year.
Well, because the way the brackets fall now, those two teams were on opposite sides of the brackets last year.
I got you.
So this year, you're saying Callaway and Center Hill should meet in the Final Four, possibly.
Well, we got to look at the brackets again. It still might not. They still might be on opposite sides of the bracket. They rotate every year, but you'll know the two teams. You know, there's only going to be one out of maybe 2 out of 4 years that they are on the same side of the bracket. So I got to look at the bracket and see. I don't know what the bracket set up this year. It's not a given that they're going to be on the same side again.
I was unfortunately
if they're on the same side, they'll play before. If they're on the same side, they will play before Jackson, before the semis. If they're on the same side, they'll play before the semis. You know, so that's what I'm just saying. We just got to look and see exactly where the brackets fall.
That's going to be very tough. Yeah, that really is going to be tough. And for some reason, I apologize. I had technical difficulties today on my computer. Just decided to jack around. Welcome, Kevin, from Cold Cuts, from our Gulf Coast analyst down. But I wanted to jump in a little bit on this Callaway Forest Hill deal. I was privy enough to call the game and see it. And I'm telling you, I don't know if you guys mentioned, but A.J. Richard for Callaway, the new transfer from Lanier. I think I heard you mention Shoes. Phenomenal job defensively. He's averaging right now about 6 blocks a game.
Is that number 10?
No, that's Dylan Redmond that you're talking about. AJ is the real string bean.
I got you.
Yeah, the one Dylan Redmond caught the putback. And I tell you, it's tough to finish on those guys. Then you got Trey Taylor at 6'5". And I know you guys have been mentioning that front line is incredible. And Kevion, Deshaun Ruffin is, and I know you guys have probably talked, and so I just want to throw my piece. Deshaun Ruffin is probably one of the most exciting players I've seen in a long time. One-on-one, he's unguardable. For me, the other night he had 38, and it was a quiet. I know it probably wasn't as quiet to everybody else, but to me, I didn't see 38. It was just like, and it was like, man, he had 38 all of a sudden. Matter of fact,
Against Forest Hill, he had 38.
Yeah, and actually the scoreboard lady didn't see it either. It was only when my guy Charles Felton, he actually went back and looked at the highlights, and he called me and said, Evie, Ruffin had 38. She missed 7 of her points. And then I found out that, they gave some points to some other players. But it was an easy 38. And him and Kevion, let's talk about best backcourts in the history of Jackson. Kevion and Deshaun, let's just not go Jackson. Let's just branch it out to the state. Him and Kevion Hunt are making a statement for 2 of the most explosive backcourts, not only in the state of Mississippi, but in Jackson, but in the whole state. And arguably, I would say that they're the top dynamic duo in the country right now. Kevion Hunt is nothing to play with himself. Big, strong body, can get to the basket whenever. He's unguardable one-on-one as well. And he doesn't finish like Deshaun, but he finishes in his own right. He's like, when he gets to that right side, he's going to body you and finish you. And he really is, I'm waiting on him just to catch. He's going to catch somebody and dunk on somebody this year. And it's going to be really exciting. Talk to me, Shoes, and Talante, and even Kevin, down on the coast. Let's talk about some dynamic duos from the past that you would have to put that you may have to say, wait a minute, EV. Now these guys are good, but give me the but.
Can I jump in first? The first duo that comes to my mind, of course, was Jeremiah Dunnings and Isaiah Cannon. Those 2 guards, that's who they remind me of, because we had Isaiah being somewhat of a true point guard, but he also could shoot the cover off of it. But Jeremiah Dunnings, who was the 2 guard on that state championship team with Biloxi, could flat out shoot the ball. Of course, he went on to William Carey and had a wonderful career there, and now he's one of the assistant coaches at Biloxi High. But when you say dynamic duos, I'm a big fan. I've learned over the years that guards, to me, win state championships. It's nice to have bigs, but guards win state championships in high school. You have to have good guard play in order to win a state championship. And I did get a chance to see that Forest Hill and Callaway matchup at my barbershop along with Shoes on YouTube, and we were able to see that game. But I'm going to be honest with you, those two guards there, they're going to be a handful. And that matchup against them and Harrison Central is really going to be kind of like an opposite, bigs against guards. And I know Callaway has some bigs as well. And Fat Boy is pretty much Harrison Central's best guard. He just played his best basketball during the holiday classic down here. I think he put up about 22 a game. And I'm going to be honest, he's tough as nails, but he's going to have his work cut out for him when they play Callaway.
Shoes, who do you have in when we go back in history? Take us back a little bit, Shoes.
I'm trying to think because the duos that come to my mind aren't so much duos of just two guards, two ball handling guards like that. I kind of think of, I think of Ronnie and Jesse and Murr, Ronnie and Jesse and Murr, and I'll even go Timmy Bowers and who's those?
Dewey Turner.
And Dewey Turner over there, those were out there. There was a good bag and that was a really good backup. Kevin, tell me something. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't there another nice guard in the backcourt with DeGrew? Didn't DeGrew have somebody in the backcourt with him that was pretty good?
Oh, Earl Flowers. Earl Flowers played at Southern Miss. You're right. Earl Flowers. That's right.
Yeah. So it's been some really good backcourts. Here in Jackson, like I said Ronnie and Jesse. Really the ones that really jump out at me. They jump out to me as a dynamic duo, the most dynamic duo of guards, wings, like that we had. Of course, people probably wouldn't consider them a dynamic duo, but you got to remember we had Lindsey Hunter and James Robinson in the backcourt together and Murrah together at one time.
But you forgot Aaron Harper and Dave played together. Aaron Harper and Dave kind of played together. I mean, I know Aaron might have been more of a small forward.
They did play together. Aaron and Dave were backcourt together also. That's true.
Yeah, I'm very interested, to see, and they've had, of course, when you're two ball handling guys, you give Dave Sanders and you give Kevion, and they'll come on the show hopefully sometime this year, and they shine a lot of credit figuring out how to work together because that's tough. When you're capable, you put Kevion Hunt on other teams and he's putting up 30 a game too, and there's some places he can go and put on 30 a game. But I want to go also, and I don't want to be remiss and just talk about Callaway. I want to hit, because we haven't been talking about JPS because they haven't been playing. But I really want to talk a little bit about this Forest Hill team. The Marshall brothers, they don't get talked about a lot. Jamari, the senior, he just goes hard, man. He just plays hard. He's no nonsense. He doesn't care who you are. He's not afraid of you. He doesn't care if his shot is going or not. He's just going to play hard. And then George Marshall, the 6'3", point guard, who I definitely believe is a Division I point guard or Division I combo at the next level. His athleticism, he had a nasty dunk on somebody over the last couple weeks the couple days that they've been playing. He's solid, he can just do a little bit of everything well. Just needs to continue to tighten up his total game. I think he's a kid that, because he's long, he's active defensively. He's somebody. And then to me, I haven't seen a kid, and if I go back in my 29 years of coaching and been around this game, Jamie Mitchell from Forest Hill he's got to be in my top 5 of 1 year improvement guys. I mean, he just has gone to another level. As the kids say, I'm riding his jock, whatever you want to call it. I'm putting all my chips in on Jamie Mitchell right now, because Jamie Mitchell is having he had a phenomenal summer, and it has translated into the game. He's playing hard, he's shooting a jumper, he's dunking on people. Like, that's a totally different dude. It's a different dude.
Yeah.
Well, I did get a chance to see Jamie when me and Lavelle was watching the game at my barbershop. With that being said, I don't really know a lot about him. I've seen him over the years. To be honest with you, man, it seemed like that kid been in school 5 years, you know, because you can't help but to remember. I just know he's a kid with the big hair, but I was very impressed with him when me and Lavelle watched him up against Callaway, and he has gotten a whole lot better.
And I can agree with that because I think the first time I seen him was probably like 2 years ago, like 2 summers ago, playing with Mebo. I think I seen him in Birmingham at the Big Spring Invitational. He's definitely got a lot better since then. I think he's grown a lot too. I think he might have been like six, maybe like 6'1" then. I think now he about what 6'5", 6'4", something like that.
Yeah.
He's about 6 feet.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. His body's gotten a lot bigger, so now he looked like a legit. You know what I'm saying. He passed the eye test. You know what I'm saying. He looked like a legit shooting guard. With the size, the shot ability. Like I was telling EV and them the other day. To me, he kind of play like Devin Booker. They was like, well, nah, he's not Devin Booker, but I think he does pattern a little bit his game like a Devin Booker. The shot fakes, the ball fakes, the way he moves. It's at his own pace. It's not quick. You know what I'm saying. It's just he's able to get his shot off whenever he wants to. Like the other day, he did a couple jab steps to get guys off him just so he can get his shot off. So he got a lot of little small things that I do like about his game. It's going to be interesting to see who jumps in on him. I don't know if people are going to jump in from the school, but, you know, I think the broadcast is going to help a lot of guys because I think a lot of people are tuning in to watch the broadcasted games. So I do think that's a big thing that's going to help a lot of these guys out in the JPS school district.
I tell you, and I just want to mention
the broadcast are big. The broadcasts are big. They're going really well, and they're going to be big for the JPS school system this year, I think.
Yeah, I think, you know, shout out to, you know, Dr. Eric Reed, the JPS superintendent and executive athletic director, Daryl Jones, and the associate athletic director, assistant AD, our guy, Chuck Wansley. You know, they've done a phenomenal job, and, you know, I appreciate them. Huh? What'd you say, Shu?
I said, Chucky.
You know, I appreciate it. I'm excited to have to, you know, to have the privilege of doing the games, the play-by-play, and, you know, and it's been I've really enjoyed the kids and stuff like that. And they are seem to be enjoying it as well. Let's move right along as we, you know, I wanted to at least talk a little bit about Forest Hill and Callaway. Here's some, we talked a little bit about the NCAA. I want to just go into some matchups we would like to see. And maybe I'll throw some out here, and then you guys can kind of talk about it. I want to see, it's hard to pick. And I know everybody's thinking too, I talk about Deshaun a lot, but you know, it's no different when you talk about when you're a star, man, this is just how it is in life, man. People talk about stars. And you're a superstar, and the kid, you know, he's a superstar right now, at this stage of his career. But a matchup I would love to see, and Talante, you can talk a little bit about this as well. I can't wait to see. I hope we get a chance to see him versus the Donovan Sanders. I believe Donovan Sanders is a kid. You know, I think Donovan Sanders is going to at least step up to the challenge, you know, and guard. I mean, talk to him. I mean, talk to me, you know.
Well, you know, actually, me and my brother was talking about this because I did, you know, Lake Comaran and Callaway played last year.
Yes.
To me, you know what I'm saying, Donovan's a great defender. But even when I went back and watched that game, I just think Ruffin is too fast, too strong. And you know what I'm saying, once you're a defender, the ball handler got the advantage anyway because they already know where they're going. You know what I'm saying? You kind of got to get lucky to get some stops on them anyway because you kind of got to be at the right place at the right time. I do think that matchup, I think Donovan could, you know what I'm saying, slow him down a little bit. But when I went back and watched that film, Ruffin just too crafty. You know what I'm saying? He get to his spots. He's so fast. You know what I'm saying? A couple of times he did kind of detour him a little bit, but he still got to his spots and draw the fouls. So, you know what I'm saying? I think Donovan probably had like 2-3 fouls in the first 5 minutes of the game. Now, a matchup that I really wanted to see last year versus Ruffin, I wanted to see Forte and Ruffin go at it because I think that would have been a super duper matchup. I know this is a year too late because Forte in college now, but I really would have loved to see that matchup because Forte a dog on defense and Ruffin gonna go at you on offense. He a dog on offense, so I think that matchup would have been, that would have been a great matchup. But as far as right now, I think it's gonna be tough for anybody to slow Ruffin down his senior year in Mississippi right now. I think it's kind of impossible. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take a lot.
Well, we might need to throw Deshaun out the matchup equation. We might need to talk about matchups for that and throw Deshaun out the matchup equation. I don't think we being fair to nobody else trying to match him up with Deshaun.
Wow. You know what? I know right now, because if I was a young kid right now and I'm watching this show, I would be inboxing the guys on the show and say, Evie, y'all are riding him and I want to guard him. I know that's what I would be saying. Now I don't know if anybody's going to inbox me and say, and is willing to say, man, I want Deshaun Ruffin.
All I can say about that is be careful what you ask for.
Well, I got a question for y'all. How do you think that Callaway guards would do up against like Starkville's guards? I mean, I know Starkville guards are not on the same level as the Callaway guards, but being that Greg does such a good job defensively, do you think they would have been able to contain Callaway's guards? Because it seemed like his guards are a little bit bigger.
No. I can attest to that. Me and my brothers talk about these scenarios too. I think it was going to be a great game. You know what I'm saying? I think right now, of course, Callaway, I think they say lost like 5, 6, you know what I'm saying, well, starters and players last year. I do think Starkville got a better team. Do I think they'll slow Ruffin down? No, I still think Ruffin will score 35, 40 points because Greg going to play him straight up. He's not going, you know what I'm saying? He's not going to send no double teams. So they're going to play him straight up man to man. So
you don't think Greg was scheming? You don't think Greg was scheming for him?
He not going to double team. He going to play him straight up. So if Ruffin going to beat him, he just going to have to flat out go out there and, you know what I'm saying, beat him. But I do think Starkville got the better team, though. They have more pieces that can score the ball. But I still think Ruffin will probably score 35. You know what I'm saying? He's going to still score his average. And those guys are going to score as well because they're going to have to defend too. But I do think both of those guys will still score the average. Who will win that game? You know what I'm saying? From seeing them play, if they had to play tomorrow, I would probably say Starkville will win just because, you know what I'm saying, Callaway haven't played a lot of games. But the way Starkville had took some losses this year too, but they bounced back and beat some teams pretty bad that are also really decent. They blowed out New Hope this past weekend, and New Hope is a pretty good team as well in 5A. So, you know what I'm saying? Whichever team show up that day, to answer y'all question, I do think Ruffin and Kevion still get their averages. And I do think the guys over at Starkville like Eric Green and Coty Young and the other guys, I do think they'll still get their averages too. So who will win that game? I don't know. I hate we missed the matchup at the Tangle on the Trail that was supposed to be on Saturday, but yeah, it's just the way it had rolled.
Well, can I give y'all my coach matchup that I would like to see, and it may happen probably in South State. My coach matchup would probably be Biloxi against Oak Grove. Of course, y'all know about Jay Barnes and Broomfield, and the two teams are similar. This year, Biloxi is really small and guard-oriented, but of course, I told y'all about Duran Paris, who I told y'all can get a bucket at any time. But the other night, they got something out of my boy, finally, Blake Hart. He came to play the other night. He just knocked down like 4 trays the other night. So I would love to see that matchup, and that's probably going to happen depending on how the brackets are set up. I can see Biloxi running up against Oak Grove in a good guard matchup. Both of them are just guard-oriented teams. I don't think neither one of them have a lot of bigs. So that would be the matchup that I probably want to see, and we're probably going to see that if everything goes right and they ended up playing each other. And then they both of the coaches played at William Carey, so they were well coached by, of course, Steve Knight, who's still the coach at William Carey. So that would be the matchup that I would like to see as far as the two coach teams, Oak Grove and Biloxi.
Hey, let me ask you this, Kevin. Who does Malik Handy play for?
Malik Handy plays for Gulfport, man. That's one of those situations where Malik was one of those kids that was really good early on. He was at Long Beach High School, and he put up about 19 points a game. Malik set out last year. He was at Gulfport. Malik had some stuff going on, and he didn't play at Gulfport, and he transferred back to Long Beach, and he came back to Gulfport this year, and he's been able to play. And he's kind of coming along slowly. Of course, he's playing on, at Gulfport High, so there's a little bit more talent than what he had at Long Beach. Me personally, if he would have stayed at Long Beach, him and Anthony Robinson, that would have been a great tandem. That would have been a guard tandem that we could have been talking about this year. But unfortunately, like I said, he ended up transferring to Gulfport. He's been solid. He kind of started off slow, but he's starting to pick up a little bit, buying into Gulfport's system. But you got to remember, he's a junior, so he has another year. But Malik, he's going to be pretty good.
I love his toughness. I think he's the ultimate dog. He's a goon. He just is one of them kids that just play stupid hard. And he's just like a cat that you just could go into an alley. You go into a fight in the alley. He's a guy. He just looked like that unless he tricked me this summer. When I saw him this summer, he looked like that type of dude.
He's tough. But give me Fat Boy in the alley. I take Fat Boy to war with me anytime. That kid there at 5'7", 5'8". Now that's a warrior right there. The one that you love, EV.
I love Fat Boy. Now here's the thing. That's a matchup right there. Fat Boy and Kevion. I just think Kevion is just too strong for Fat Boy. I just don't think Fat Boy can stay in front of Kevion. He's just too physical. But I do like Fat Boy. I think Fat Boy is a person. Fat Boy is if he gets going, I mean he's hard to contain. I tell you another matchup I like to see, Kevion and Jabari McGee.
Oh yeah,
I like to see that matchup.
That'll be a good one.
Hey, wait, at the camp they kind of matched up for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because by request they wanted to play each other. Well, Jabari wanted to play against Kevion, so you know what I'm saying. We did get a glimpse of it. Who will win that matchup? I'm not sure because Jabari been playing pretty well this season as well. He been putting up some numbers. He been locking some guys up. They almost beat y'all team Vicksburg. They almost beat them. I think last week. I think they lost by like 2 or 3. So I'm not sure what all he got on that South Pike team. South Pike. They almost beat Vicksburg last week. And I know you guys talk about Vicksburg.
Well, EV, I want to step in and mention something about we had a surprise down here on the coast. D'Iberville won the Holiday Classic, something they've never done. They beat Gulfport and they beat Harrison Central, 2 of the top 2 teams on the coast. They got a kid by the name of Dominique Simpkins. He's a junior, about 6'4". He gave everybody down here in the business. He was my MVP of the Holiday Classic. So they got a lot of good guards. They're real scrappy. So that's going to be a team that people in the 6A South might need to look out for. It's a group of kids that play for the Kings, and their coach is Skeet. He coaches all those kids, so they've had an opportunity to play together. I'm quite sure the Kings probably have been in Jackson. And being that those kids have played together for so long, they are all on the same high school team. So they've been upsetting some teams down here on the coast. So remember that kid, Dominique Simpkins, a 6'4" junior at D'Iberville. He put up some numbers over the weekend, and he was my MVP at the Gulfport Holiday Classic with the 2 upsets over Harrison Central and Gulfport.
I think Shoes might have mentioned him earlier.
Yeah, we did talk about him. Yeah, he did.
But yeah, he was good. He was good down there this weekend. I got this last week. I got a chance to see him, and he was really good. Nice long bounce, got some bounce, and shoot the 3. Got a nose for the ball, goes and rebounds the ball. Did a little bit of everything for them. During the night I saw him. He did a little bit of everything for him.
So let me put you on the spot, Kevin. How do you think those guys from the coast, you know what I'm saying, they don't get a lot of credit. I know everybody think, you know what I'm saying, the coast basketball is not that strong. So how do you think those guys are going to fare once we get to the postseason and the playoffs? How deep do you think they have a chance to make it?
I'm going to be honest with you, man. The one that I just really feel like got a chance is because they've been there. That's Harrison Central. Harrison Central, to me, they had a chance to get there because I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of question if Fat Boy was a true point guard. Well, what ended up happening this weekend was that they have a freshman point guard and Fat Boy plays the 2. So what ended up happening is Reggie finally got rattled a little bit. Reggie's going to be good. Like I said, they have a freshman point guard, but he got rattled a little bit this week. So, and then they also got some early foul trouble. So Fat Boy was forced to run the point. And I'm going to be honest with you. He did really, really good. He ran the point. He shot the three well. I mean, he handled the press. But like I said, in the championship game, D'Iberville kind of hung around, hit a big three to go up by one. Harris Simpson had 5 seconds to get to inbound the ball. Inbound the ball, but we end up throwing the ball away, so they end up losing. So if I just had to go on a limb and say I think they got a chance. And I'm be honest with you, if Biloxi get the right matchup with the guard play that they have, I think they'll have a chance to get out as well. So if I just had to say, those are my two teams that just from what I've seen, they may have a chance to get out depending on the matchups. Because then, like I said, Biloxi is well coached. Like I told y'all, Duran Paris is a star in the making, man. He can get it done. He's just one of those kids, like I said, we don't have a lot of kids that are young down here that have put up numbers. There's only one or two that I can think of. Duran Paris is one. Then Pascagoula has a kid over there, too, that's putting up numbers, too, and he's just a freshman. So, like I said, we don't really have a lot of kids putting up numbers early on. It normally takes these kids 2 to 3 years once they get to high school to kind of get going.
All right, man, as we get ready to shift out, we get our get ready for our what we call our the last geek. I want to ask about this quick matchup though before we do that. Josh Hubbard versus LJ Hackman. Josh Hubbard is the #1 2023 kid. And if you got somebody down there, Kevin, that's pretty good, who would we say, because Josh Hubbard really, to me, is like one step below Deshaun right now, in my opinion, like with some of the things that he's doing as far as scoring the basketball. I just wanted to look at somebody in his class. Josh Hubbard is somebody, that is just, and he's he's playing at a real high level right now.
Well, with that being said, if you remember when I talked to you last week, Biloxi was going to play MRA in the Thanksgiving tournament at Gulfport, but Gulfport went on quarantine because of COVID. So we were going to get a chance to see Josh Hubbard, which is the top sophomore in the state, go up against who I think are our top sophomore here on the coast with Duran Parrish. So that would have been a matchup that I'd like to see. But I'm going to be honest with you. What I saw over the weekend with Josh Hubbard did in Louisiana, I don't know a whole lot of people that may be that good at his size and on that level. So right now, if I just had to give, I had to give him the edge because then again, he's been playing high school basketball since 7th, 8th grade. So when you've been playing with bigger kids and older kids for so long, that gives you a boost of confidence. You know what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong, Josh Hubbard is probably one of the best young kids that I have ever seen. I just saw a video on him in Louisiana. I just got a chance to talk to his dad through Twitter, and he's been sending me some stuff, man. But I'm blown away, man. But I saw him last year against Gulfport, so I knew he had the talent, man. But he is really, 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 really good. And I mean, as far as him and Duran, I don't even want to try to even get in a debate on who's. It ain't even close. Because like I said, Duran just got to high school and started playing high school basketball. So right now, Josh Hubbard is the best thing I've seen in the sophomore class. I'm gonna just be honest with you.
What about you, Delonte, to LJ Hackman?
Oh well, look, I think me and Shoes had watched that title weight camp. We had them matched up. I can say it was good work between those two. Shoes, then you watch the game with me?
I watched some of that game also.
Yeah, it was good work. I still think, of course, Hubbard he's the top sophomore in the state right now. Rightfully so, he's putting up the numbers. You know what I'm saying? The offers are coming in, deservingly so. From what he's been doing, he had 38 one game. So you know what I'm saying? 38 one game in that last term in Louisiana. So right now, you know what I'm saying? As far as offensively, I think if we had a top 5 in Mississippi right now, I think we can put Hubbard in that top 5, regardless of class, for just, you know what I'm saying, production.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just production on his own. You know what I'm saying? I think he won a state championship as an 8th grader. They didn't win last year as a 9th grader, but you know what I'm saying? To win a state championship as an 8th grader, no matter if it's private school or public school, because I think he can score in the state on a public school team, private school, it don't matter. He's still going to give you buckets. So he's definitely the best. he's definitely the best player in that 2023 class. That's no question asked. Matchups. And like I tell people, sometimes with those matchups, when you come in against guys, like you know who Josh Hubbard is, you know what I'm saying? So anytime he match up against pretty much anybody in his class or who not in his class, they already know who he is. So he gonna get their best shot every game anyway. So sometimes I think it's unfair for those top guys because you come up against guys, I don't want to call them no names, but you don't know them, but they know you. So they're trying their best to make you look bad every game anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I think those good players like a Josh Hubbard, Deshaun Ruffin, when those guys do challenge them, I do think they both rise to the occasion and go ahead and let them know that they are who they are for a reason.
Yeah, there's a scripture in the Bible says, to whom much is given, much is required. And so at the end of the day, when you have that type of talent that God's given you, you got to perform. I mean, at the end of the day, I remember when I used to play, and I played against Glenn Rice, who was in the NBA at the time. And Glenn never let us walk out of the gym saying, man, Jim, I mean, he never, we never walked out of there saying, man, Glenn Rice really ain't that good. We always, he let us know every single time he played, there's a reason. There was a level, there was a difference. He was in the NBA at a high level, and we were just very, very good ball players, happy to pass the ball to him. And so that was you know, and so when you are that type of guy and you call yourself a star and you know you're that guy, there are no days off. I can't stand when kids act like, you know, well, I'm playing down to the level of my competition. No, you ain't that good, son. There's always somebody better than you. As good as Deshaun Ruffin is, he's ranked 36th in the country. So there's 35 other people that ESPN, which doesn't mean anything, but at the end of the day, you got to always keep that level of humility that, you know, there is somebody else out there that's shooting for you. And so with that being said, man, if y'all would give us, we'll start with you, Kevin, you know, give us your last 30 seconds tonight as we get ready to close, and then Talante, and then Shoes, and then we'll close it up.
All I pretty much want to say is I want to give shouts out to, like I said, the Iberville for winning the Holiday Classic down here in Gulfport. They showed two of the best teams that, you know, hey, we got some new kids on the block, and then they're going to really be tested because they come to Biloxi Friday. Biloxi is 7-1, and I still think Biloxi has a chance to be the best team, if not, you know, one of the best teams from the coast. So with that being said, D'Iberville versus Biloxi is going to be the game to see this week, Friday.
Talante.
All right, and for me, you know what I'm saying, I just want to give a shout out to all the kids and coaches who played over the holidays, the referees who refed, and guys, just stay healthy so we can finish the season out strong. I know conference or region, whatever you want to call it, district, it's getting ready to start. So stay healthy, stay in, keep your mask on so we can get these games out the way. And good luck to everybody trying to make it to the first weekend of March, whether it's in Jackson or at the Hump at Mississippi State.
Well, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna say we were talking about this earlier, Talante, while you were off, EV. We were talking about the matchups at the Rumble in the South that's coming up in a couple of weekends, and I'm really looking forward to that. That's like we said, that's gonna be one of the biggest weekends, biggest days of basketball in the state this year. We got a lot of outstanding matchups. We're gonna see a lot of these talented teams we've been talking about: Clinton, Starkville, Callaway, Harrison Central, Oak Grove, Forest Hill. All of those teams are scheduled. MRA, Raymond, all those teams are scheduled to play there. I look forward to being able to see all that. We got some outstanding matchups: Clinton versus Starkville, Callaway versus Harrison Central. There may be a change in the schedule. We may have Forest Hill, Oak Grove. I'm not sure yet. I've been talking to some of the guys about making that matchup. So I just want to throw it out there that we got an exciting day of basketball coming up on Martin Luther King Day.
Well, guys, I appreciate you as I do every week. And I just want to share with all the people who are watching. I hope you had a great holiday season. And as we get prepared to go into the second half, for the kids, I say make the right decision. Your careers at stake. Don't make bad decisions, bad choices. And for parents, I would just say enjoy, especially you parents who are seniors, enjoy the process and enjoy this last year for them, because we never know when it's going to be our last game, unfortunately, with the uncertainty in this world. And I just, encourage everyone to trust God like never before. And so for Kevin Cole, Talante Weber, and Shoes Johnson, I'm Coach EV, aka EV the Geeker, saying have a great evening and good